There we go. This is Northwest Prepper. And I don't make videos very often anymore. Because YouTube doesn't like me. So, today, I got home from work. Turn your computer on like I always do. Water's good stuff. And I come across a movie person, Karla, Sofía, Gascón, right? Was threatened with death. Okay? Trans, she's a trans actress, which doesn't really matter to me. Don't care. But it is apparently because she on X was threatened with death, of course, which is pretty typical, because she made a comment that she felt like where she lives in Spain, it was becoming more and more Islamic, and she was worried her kids would have to learn Arabic. Now, everyone knows Islam decides to spread peacefully until it has enough majority to ensure Sharia law is pushed at some point. Now, most of Islam will say that they're peaceful, but if Islam is peaceful, then why is the Middle East always in a fucking war? It's a good question. The most peaceful religion in the world, and they're always at each other's throats, killing each other. You know? And the other thing side of the coin is it's not like Arabs love gay people or trans people, because, I mean, let's look at Iran and other countries. It's pretty much legal to kill anyone that's gay or trans, or sexually assault a lesbian into being straight. I mean, let's be real about that. And, you know, they'll say we're accepting of these lifestyles, but the fact of the matter is, they're really not. I mean, I'll give you an example. When I was in Iraq, my last tour in Iraq, I was an NCOIC on Tower Guard. Right? My soldiers called me up on the radio. Like, hey, there's this lady getting beat out in the field. Right? He's got this Iraqi guy beating the shit out of this woman. And I get up there on the binos and I'm looking. And then another woman, older woman, starts to say something. And then the guy starts beating the shit out of her. Right? And they both got their ass whooped. And I'm like, guys, you can't get involved because this is a Muslim thing. You know, to Muslims, it's okay to beat your wife because they don't listen. And to them, you have to beat them into submission. Now, factual story. You know, because my soldiers, some of the soldiers in the tower, they were thinking about popping around at that guy. You know? That's a great example right there. You know, look at in different countries what they do to gay people. They basically hang and kill them or throw them off buildings because they're gay. These are people who could be perfectly fine, people in a society or culture. But no, because Islam is anti-homosexual. But it's interesting to bring up how many Arabic men love Mia Khalifa, but they still want to kill her, right? And at the same time, how many people in Pakistan and other countries who are males, Arabic males, who solicit time with young boys. Now, this double thing going on is terrible. And this woman, she deserves the right to exist and not be harassed by Muslim extremists. You know, and if you're a Muslim extremist, you don't like me, I don't care. I got plenty of guns. And one more dead Haji, the world's not going to cry about it. Let's be real. No one cares about one more dead Haji in this world. But this woman deserves the right to coexist with other people and not have the minority people crying. Look at England and UK. Muslims complain about every little thing's anti-Muslim, and then they spit in the face of Britain, right? In the USA, they're up in Michigan and stuff like that, but you know what? Michigan really isn't shit. But generally, most people don't give a fuck what Muslims say in America, because they don't really matter. The only time really people care what Muslims say is when, like in Seattle, I think it was the Seattle area, some guy tried to kill his daughter for honor killing, which is pretty typical Muslim. I don't know. Catholics don't kill their daughters for honor killings. Protestants don't kill their daughters. Hindus don't kill their daughters. Buddhists don't kill their daughters, right? It's an Islam thing, right? Are we getting there? And you look at Egypt, there's like almost no Christians left because they can't even have churches because the Muslims burn them out and destroy them. Look at some of the major churches in Europe. They've been burned out. They don't know who did it, but we're pretty goddamn sure it was Muslims that did this. These are the free Muslims that embrace everyone and love freedom. There's no freedom under Islam. You're just a slave to a set of rules. You break the rules, and then someone gets off punishing you. Child marriages. I don't see the Catholic Church letting 13-year-olds get married to a 50-year-old guy or a 40-year-old guy. We can go on and on about this. So this flawed religion, if it is even a religion, truthfully, basically threatened this trans woman with death, And what's Spain doing about it? Nothing. It's the Spanish. They never did shit. Once they lost places in America, they don't have a good army even. But the fact of the matter is, in Europe, they have too many Muslims. Look at Germany. They're getting rid of them. Look at Austria, Switzerland, that made it to where if you are Muslim, you have to do your Muslim preaching in the language everyone understands, so you're not doing some hiding shit. The Germans just shut down a whole bunch of mosques because they're doing it in Arabic, and the Germans don't know what they're saying. What are you supposed to do? They're preaching hate against the Germans right under their nose, and they don't even know it. So, this is pitiful. This is why I've never trusted Muslims, point blank. I remember Desert Storm, some of the things that the Iraqis did to the Kuwaitis. They didn't give a shit, And I thank God that, the highway of death gave the Iraqis a little bite in the ass to figure things out. I remember that. I remember posing with a dead Iraqi. We're all laughing, making jokes about the hole in his chest. Big deal. Or the guy sitting in a truck. Or a guy sitting in a truck with, missing his head and his arms with his arms still on the steering wheel. No one cared. So, there's a whole bunch of things that I don't really care about. And I don't really care about Islam. And in the end, we're going to have to fight the Muslims again. But maybe this time it's going to have to be in a nuclear shower. The only way to fix Islam is to just take out the Middle East, nuke it, glass it. We can still get oil out of it. It's not a problem. We just drill past the radioactive zone after it's cleared off. And then there's no more Islam to worry about. Hamas and their backstabbing shit. And everyone in Lebanon that says nothing or agrees with Hamas by saying nothing, they are Hamas. Okay. If you have, look at the time you had people walking through Paris wearing the Jewish caps, right? Just to see what happens. And the French and the Muslims were terrible to them, just to see as a test. Right? When does that turn to everyone else? When? It's a real question. The last person I trusted is someone from South America covered in tattoos in her face like Trende Aragua, or MS-13, or someone in Islam. Because the people will constantly make up excuses for, it's not us, it's them, but they never condemn them. And then this poor woman, this trans woman, has been attacked, and what do they say? Islam says nothing. But they stress that, they can marry 13-year-olds and bang little boys. Yeah, that's Islam. If there is a Satan out there, it was Muhammad. He was Satan. because of the stuff that in his books and teachings, right? Only Satan would say that shit. You know? I'm not saying the Catholic Church and the Protestant Church, I'm not saying they haven't got their skeletons, because they do. But if you look at their base teachings, you know, they don't go around doing what Islam does today. And so what makes you think that as an American, you know, as in my country, that I would even trust a Muslim person as far as I could throw them? Because this is how they act in foreign countries, because they can get away with it. In America, we all got guns, which means you can say, oh, I'm going to do this and that, but, you know, you don't know who the hell's packing. You might not get very far. Where in Europe, they can say whatever they want because no one's got guns. Okay? It's pretty simple. At least in America, while we have a Second Amendment, we can defend against Muslim extremists. You know? But in Europe, you're screwed. They won't even let you have guns. Hell, you can't even have knives in the UK. But, I mean, so I'm going to end the video and put it like it is. This woman has had to shut down her account because of all the death threats from, I'm pretty sure, 99.99% Muslim, because they don't, A, like her because she is a trans girl, B, because technically if she has a relationship with a man, it's homosexuality, another reason to threaten her, B, because she said one thing that's anti-Islam, and Muslims always complain about every little thing until it benefits them, and then they complain and they want the upper hand. So if you're a Muslim, I don't really care. You know, go find a little boy or something like that. You know, or do like in Britain and the UK where they single out young girls and have rape gangs. I said the word rape. You know, and this is true. Do the research. In the UK, they don't want to talk about it, but they have these gangs that rape women, young girls, you know, and they don't care because they're not Muslim. So, I'm going to end this video, and if you find it offensive, I don't really care. Because speaking the truth is usually offensive. But the fact that Karla Sofía Gascón is being crucified is terrible. And I blame this on Islam. You know? I blame it all on Islam. I don't blame anybody else. You know? Except for the Spanish government for not standing up for people's rights to be independent. You know? Because first they come for the trans people and the gay people. Then they're going to come for this, and then they're going to come for that. And then they're going to come for the Christians. And the Christians will be like, what happened? Oh, convert to Islam and you'll be safe. No, I think death sounds better than converting to Islam. A false god who is most likely, if there is a devil, you know, Muhammad was the devil. Or a warlord close enough to the devil. You know. So, have a good day. If you're offended, I don't care. Deal with it. It's America. We got free speech. You don't like it? Go to Spain where you can threaten people. Because that shit ain't gonna fly here. Ain't gonna fly in America. Have a great day.